wait a minute, hold it. That's all you had to do was just what? What in the Jesus? Did this husband just spit the blood of Jesus Christ in a demon's face?
I can't fool myself. I don't want nobody else to ever love me. You are my shining star.
I'm out here. I forgot to take my Monte class, so I'm gonna do this video running here in this Target before the damn pollen demons come after my soul, y'all. Come after my soul. But speaking about demon souls, let's talk about this movie, The Nun, that me and my wife seen last night. If you all follow The Conjuring, then you pretty much expected the same level of horror that I did last night. To be quite honest with you, The Conjuring series that would consist of The Conjuring, Annabelle, and excuse me, and The Nun, they have been pretty much the only movie franchise that could basically scare me. Everything else is like the beginning was very good. It gave backstory. That's the best part about a movie to me, is when you give us a good lead up, when you give us the whole story as to why we feel vested in this character. So when we get to a point in a movie, we already feel that we know this character. We're connected to this character. This movie, The Nun, had all the tools necessary so that it could be a great movie. It possessed nuns. Listen, me being a girl that went to private school for the majority of her life, listen, that nun shiz, that priest stuff scares the hell out of me. You hear me? And I know that I'm not the only one who, whenever you incorporate in the Bible, Jesus, God, nuns, anything associated with the Catholic religion, you get nervous. Not just because, you know, the situations that they have with little boys, but just because just in itself, it's still very touchy. They had the demons. They had the backstory from The Conjuring, because The Conjuring always gave us like little glimpse into what the Nun's possibility could be. Because, you know, if you've seen the movie The Conjuring series, then you know that it's a picture of a nun that's always floating around there, and that nun is scary as hell. You hear me? Scary as hell. But how the movie opened up was that the priest was sent by the Vatican to an abbey to seek out a specific young lady who was not yet a nun, but she was a nun to be. This particular nun to be had visions, which later on down the line, it really didn't even matter about her visions when I think about it, but I'll get into that later. Their purpose was to go to another abbey that they said was possessed by evil. Here comes the third character. His name is Frenchie, and I believe that his purpose was to give comedic relief to the movie, which he did from time to time, but it was just so what triggered the Vatican to contact the priest who was sent to get the young nun or nun to be was that there was a suicide. Okay, and the priests were like, or the Vatican was like, hey, look, you need to go down there and see what's popping down there and see if that place is still demonized. Go in there and throw a whole bunch of holy water on that place or burn it down, whatever we need to do, but I need you to go check it out. They didn't tell us why him. And then when the priest gave us a story as to why him, wasn't even good enough. It wasn't good enough to explain why him. And then for the backstory as to why they grabbed that particular nun, I still didn't understand why her, you know? They said she had visions. The priest has done an exorcist before, and I guess he feels a certain type of way because he felt like the young man who he did the exorcist on, you know, speaking about in the past, not related to this movie at all, he died because he said he was too aggressive in his tactics of exercising the little boy. And I'm saying, what did you do? Choke him out? You know, the comedic relief of the movie took the priest and the nun down to the abbey. A whole series of spooky just things happen. And this is when I realized they call it jump scares. Jump scares are like the sudden loud noise where you be like, ah, because you're not expecting it. And I realized that's part of the reason why I love the Conjuring series, is because it does very well at jump scares. But in this movie, that's all they had. Just felt like it was just a whole bunch of combined jump scares that didn't make any friggin' sense as to, like, why is this happening? For instance, okay, so the priest character, like, I really don't understand why the hell he was there. I mean, I know he was there maybe to be like, you can't just have, well, you can't have just one character doing every daggone thing. But they did his like subplot, which was him dealing with his failed exorcism. Failed as in he exorcised the little boy, but the little boy died in the process, right? So that was the subplot of it, but it wasn't needed. We needed to focus on the abbey and where the heck is all the goddamn nuns that supposedly died. It was crosses surrounding the abbey, and the crosses' purpose was to keep the demons in. Now the town didn't mess with the abbey, okay? And these are some of the little comedic pieces that, you know, took some of the tension off the movie. But it just became like a filler. It was little things that happened in the movie that was just so unnecessary that I literally tuned out. Like, I almost fell asleep in the theater. And I don't like doing that. You know, I like to be able to pay attention to the whole movie so that I can be able to give you a good review or recap of any movie that like I'm complaining about the movie. But I will say this, you will appreciate the movie, because if you are a huge fan of the Conjuring franchise, you will enjoy it. But I mean, it was just parts that just were ridiculous in the middle. In the beginning, it was good. In the middle, I'm telling you, I tuned out. I was thinking about what I was going to eat. I was like, oh, I got to go to the grocery store tomorrow. Oh, God, my nephew needed a new pair of shoes. Let me go ahead and buy my baby some shoes. It was just like, I believe that they added the priest part with the little boy as a filler. You know, and the movie really didn't need a filler. You could have stayed focused on what was needed to tell the story about that. The premise of the movie was there was a demon that was, child, they did the premise of the movie so quick and it went by so fast that I really couldn't even tell you exactly what the heck was going on. Like, what I think was the demon, and that shouldn't be a case. It shouldn't be a situation where I'm guessing about what's going on. You spent less time bullshitting, then we would know what the hell was going on. Who used to own the abbey, and he was holding a demon in there, and the only way that he could hold a demon was with the blood of Jesus Christ. And I was like, Jesus, they didn't spend no time on explaining what was making that abbey so friggin' One thing about the movie that I think they dropped the ball on was that in order for them to control the demon, the nuns had to constantly pray around the clock. Okay, the nuns came in and they got on their knees and they started praying, and then the demon came in and threw them all over the place, broke their neck, and I'm like, oh Jesus, the only one that's left is the nun to be. But come to find out, that was some type of dream or image or something like that, that the demon was playing games with her. I don't know. But there was nobody there. All the nuns that were associated with that particular abbey was dead. And I was like, that was good. You should have stayed right there. Which I was like, wait a minute. Hold it. That's all you had to do was just what? What in the Jesus? Did this hussy just spit the blood of Jesus Christ in a demon's face? I just was like, what the? Y'all, they dropped the ball. I'm sorry. They dropped the ball. Listen, Linda, listen. You know, I appreciate the effort, Okay, I appreciate the fact that whoever is the conjuring, inceptor, I appreciate that you tried. But honey, you dropped the ball. Remember this, the same people you meet on the way up will always be the same people you meet on the way down. Naysayers, my patron loves. Have a good one.